Welcome back. So, in continuing this conversation, this thing is not new. It used to happen during our time, because I remember when I was in secondary school, and I know that during Valentine's season like this, cards will be flying up and down, letters, chocolates, roses, these biscuits, shortbread, and all of that. And I used to always feel like left out because I didn't have a boyfriend. I was not fine. I was not desirable. So I didn't used to get any of those things. But it didn't change. It didn't faze me. I never used to sit in one corner and be feeling bad about it. And also the sort of friends I had in secondary school were friends that also did not have that in their awareness. So we'll mind our business, come to class as usual, where we have those elder girls at the back discussing what they got. Because we had this all-boys school very close to our all-girls school. And everybody had like their partner in those boys' schools. So it's something we've always seen. But one of the things that sort of saved me and people like me was the fact that I would always remember my dad's voice in my head. And that is bringing me to what sort of training are we giving to our children at home? Because the truth of the matter is you cannot follow them everywhere.
Obviously.
You cannot be there all the time. Are you instilling enough in them so that when they go out there, even with the peer pressure? So I know some people who came from good homes who were influenced, and some people who were not influenced. Now, how do we do it in such a way that our children are not easily influenced? Because the influence will come, whether we believe it or not. How do we raise them in such a way that they can stand and say it's okay to be different and not feel bad about it? Because what I see most of the time is when you're feeling that you're different, you're singled out, you're secluded, sometimes you're isolated, you start feeling like you're not desirable, nobody likes you, you know, and then you want to do things to belong, and that's where the problem comes in. But how do we raise our children in such a way that they are confident even in their own uniqueness? That's one question. The second one I also like to ask is, one of the reasons why I see many of these hotels collect money from children is because they are more after the money they are going to make. They don't care about giving back to the society. So you situate a hotel, for instance, in an area where there's secondary school, and you are confident and comfortable enough to be collecting these boys, collecting their money, because it's not free. They don't give them those hotels for free.
Of course not.
They pay for the rooms. You collect, you know that this hotel is in a secondary school area, and those boys will always bring their girlfriends, and you collect the money and you sleep well at night. How have we gotten to that point where we can collect money from anybody, no matter how that money comes? We don't care. Before, we used to have businesses. As long as you have money. We used to have businesses before that when children come, like growing up, when children come to some places to buy some alcohol or cigarettes, you see kid, come on, will get out of here, who are you? What are you looking for? Where's your mother? Where's your father? We don't have that anymore. As long as money is coming, whoever is coming from, how did we get to that point? And how can we begin to come out of that? I don't even know how to put it.
I watched a video about I think it was even Nima that posted it, and I had to now go back and watch it, about Japan and their culture. Let me take this call, then I'll come to you. We have a caller from Abuja, I believe. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before I start, I need to tell Society Glamour, you are rocking those platforms. Please, can you just
send it to you?
To the studio and send me the address. Come and pick it myself.
What's your size?
It doesn't matter. I can reduce or increase. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for this topic. Like you all, I'm a mom, and before I start, I want to quickly say a little story. When I was doing jam, I think I was 15 then. I'm in my 50s now. So when we were doing jam, and my friend who was being courted by a guy, so we were all in that 15, 16 range. And I think the guy gave her a present, and she decided to buy him Valentine cards. And for the life of me, she bought him up, I think, about 10 cards. She wanted to give him 10 to express I was dying. So she called me. So she sent for me to there. She was just my neighbor next door, and I got there. She called me whispered and said, "Don't make you no let mommy they know. I tell them, say you deserve, now you deserve Valentine card." I said, Valentine card, how? And she took they believe that because let's say a friend came and you are the one spending time. You don't say so much now. Tomorrow is Valentine's already. You didn't start telling. That was how God good they believe that. She now gave me the card. And the card that got to my house. Small, she came to the house with the card. My mother from her.
Oh, it's not clear. I really wanted to hear this gist.
My mother.
Okay, so
your life. Yeah, I sent it to jam school. You are doing card. Your life to be. I don't want to tell you how life makes it for that thing.
We're struggling to hear.
You need to call back.
Yeah. Maybe if you can call back, we're struggling to hear you in the studio.
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah.
So she posted a video. I went to the person's page and saw the origin of that video about how Lagos, let me specify Lagos, there's a culture of dirt in Lagos, and how Japan has a culture of cleanliness, and how it was an intentional thing, that they groomed the children right from birth. You pick up things little by little, arranging your stuff, even to the point where Japanese went for World Cup, and in the country that is not their own, they were picking up deaths after the end of the match, because that's their culture. We can change our culture, but we need to be intentional to say this is the agenda. And I feel that there was a time when you cannot be seen to do some things. Everybody will call you out. And then we created a new culture where everybody looks away. It's not my business. Don't be my child. Make I face my own. Consign me. That became our new culture. That's where we are now. And we can go back to the place where all of us are realizing that if I don't help my neighbors correct their children, their own child will now be the one that later influence my own later. So we must take ownership of everybody around us. It will be a journey, and it will come from conversations like this, where we are doing Children's Day, but not just talking about children. Rather, we are educating ourselves to stimulate the right conversations. I can't even count the number of times when after the show, I get back home and say, Oga, there's something called this drug. Have you heard of this drug? Have you heard of that one? Swear. And I'm the one, it's after the show, and I'll be like, have you heard of it before? They'll say no. I'm like, I should let you know that there are other side effects to it, and these are the consequences. We are to stimulate this conversation and ensure that we are trickling it to everybody around us. We must help one another. The Wendy Olonge she just mentioned, I heard about her because a friend of mine did a course on intentional parenting and sent me the course and said, Tokwe, you need to do this course. She sent me a book. Tokwe, you need to read this book. You need to have a conversation with your children about this thing. I like the way she says it. I wouldn't have heard about her if somebody did not invest the time to pull me onto that journey. And I think we need to do that for one another, because some parents are so overwhelmed with life. Life is life in them. They are not thinking of it. But you that you know, tell them.
Yeah, so we have a caller from London. Beauty, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Beauty.
I just want to add a little view on this. I love what the last caller said, that parents should be intentional in raising their children.
Yeah.
I've got 4 kids. And to the glory of God, I will say this, that the way I brought up my children, people always comment and say, wow, I love the way your children are turning out. Let's bear in mind that whatever it is, parents have 90% of instilling good behavior in their children. 90. Fine, the school is there and the friends they meet with. Now, I'm going to say this. The fish, when you get a dry fish and a fresh one, you have to dry it before it becomes very strong. So before you start grilling it or smoking it, you can bend it the way you want to bend it. Because once it's dry, once you try to bend it, it will break.
It will break.
So children can be likened to that. So from that little age, start instilling good behavior in them. As a family here, we have a monthly meeting. In this monthly meeting, we involve the children in making decisions. Decisions that affect the family. Yes, we hear their own opinions. And we weigh it from the positive side, the negative effect of it, and then we go for the one that is the positive effect of it. And when it turns that way, it makes them like, of the truth, the family values them. And even in school, they can make decisions on their own. My daughter is in 10. Your 10 can be SS2 in Nigeria. Now, there was a day she came back from school and she was telling me, Mom, everybody, what is in trend now is you must have a boyfriend.
Thank you, Beauty.
She said,
thank you. We really have to go. Your final words, we are going. Yeah, we're wrapping up the topic.
Okay. Yes. Well, my final, I was going to talk about that it's okay for children to want to celebrate, have some celebrations, and because they are growing physiologically, their body is changing, they are noticing things about themselves. Yeah. So it's not to say to children do not have those sort of celebrations or those feelings. Is to make sure that you're part of it and you know, show them the way to go. Valentine's, when we're in secondary school, the cards that used to be sent, you know, across from the boys to the girls, the teddy bears, the cake, it was nice. It was done openly. Our teachers saw it. Yeah. Those of us that didn't get were happy for those that got, you know, but it was done in an open manner.
You could exchange
and hopefully,
the gifts in
you
class.
know, the parents should know. Is this thing where parents are unaware? So you're not intentional about how you explain this journey, this stage of life to your children. They cannot have a conversation about it with you. So they go to people who are bad people. You see, these hotels that we're talking about that children go to, these are not human beings. These are criminals. They are taking advantage of a certain stage in a growing child's life, and they are creating places, as far as I'm concerned, these are pedophiles, you know, to see how they can take advantage of children. So there's a wholesome way to enjoy growing up and enjoy your teenage years. And then there are saboteurs of our children just waiting around, lurking around to destroy them. And parents have to make sure that their eyes are open.
We need to be very, very intentional. So get to know your teenagers, talk to your teenagers, know what they are feeling, and don't be oblivious or be in denial that they are not supposed to be feeling what they are feeling because people go to church or because you preach Jesus to them. We need to be truthful to ourselves.
I want you to just think of something, because there are some parents who are very intentional. They actually think they are doing the right thing, and the child
will still turn out.
So
it's the grace of God at the end of the day. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll move on to yet another segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.